Hello there, Supernorse here today. I'm going to give a little bit of a retrospective on Rareware. Um, as a kid, I remember seeing their logo appear on my TV many times before I played a really good game. The earliest examples of that were the Donkey Kong Country trilogy on the Super Nintendo. Excellent games. I grew up in 1988, so by the end of the Super Nintendo's life cycle, I was old enough to where I was starting to play games, and those were the first ones, along with Super Mario All-Stars, that I got to play. And going forward into the Nintendo 64 era, at the beginning, I primarily just got Nintendo games when I got my 64, like Super Mario 64, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, a couple other ones, I believe. But I did get a couple of Rareware games as well eventually. The first one was Banjo-Kazooie, and people say up front that it's a Super Mario 64 clone and you're just going around collecting shit. But I prefer this game over Mario 64 any day, actually. It's really an excellent experience. I'd recommend it for anyone. Anyone who has a Nintendo 64, or well, you can even get it on Microsoft Xbox 360 these days. But after Donkey Kong, after Banjo-Kazooie, I got Donkey Kong Country 64. Well, not Country 64, but Donkey Kong 64. But this game, I really like it. It's a bit different. Like, some shit will be super easy, and then some shit you'll just be wanting to pull your fucking hair out. Like, let's say the boss in the toy factory. Yeah, that was one fucking bastard right there. I really like the characters though. Well, I never understood why we didn't have Dixie Kong in there instead of Tiny, but well, whatever. They chose to design the game like that. Great game still. But then of course I got Banjo-Tooie next, and damn, was that a fucking good game. I want to talk both about the single player and the multiplayer, because the multiplayer is great as well. But the single player aspect of Banjo-Tooie goes along with the first game, but it kind of expands on it as well. It's where you're not just in the witch's lair, but you're going around to many different, just a whole kind of world around the Banjo-Kazooie area in general. It tells kind of gives kind of a story of what the Banjo-Kazooie world is kind of like, a little bit more than the first game did, and I really liked that a lot. And I still remember at the end of Banjo-Tooie when it said to look forward in the future to Banjo 3E, but sadly that never happened. Before we get to that though, I want to touch on the multiplayer aspect. As a kid, playing Banjo-Tooie, they have this multiplayer in there that's like a first-person shooter experience where you take Kazooie by the neck and hold her like a gun, and you have eggs, fire eggs, grenade eggs, ice eggs, and these little TikTok bombs that you can run them over to someone and detonate them. It's fucking awesome. This was my first person shooter experience on the Nintendo 64 as a kid. Um, it wasn't until later that I got Golden oh 07 double, I mean, Golden oh 07, 007 GoldenEye. Excellent, excellent game as well, but I just remember so many memorable nights where me and friends would be playing um, four-player split screen on Banjo Tooie. Oh, it was so fucking fun. Um, there were other great games that Rare made as well, but I didn't have those when I was a kid, like GoldenEye. Um, I also didn't have Conker's Bad Fur Day. Fucking love that game. I actually just got that one recently. I also got Diddy Kong Racing now. Never had that one before. Very fun also. And Perfect Dark. Um, excellent. Great, great games. They really released a lot of 5-star quality shit back in the 4th and 5th gen gaming eras. But, well, as all great things, eventually, great things apparently have to come to an end as Microsoft purchased Rareware and shit went down the fucking toilet. Like, they basically took everything that was great about Rareware and flushed it down the goddamn toilet. I even tried Banjo-Kazooie on the Xbox 360. Very, very disappointing experience, as don't want to be going around making these fucking vehicles and shit to do everything. I just want to use the bear and the bird, kind of like you did in the 64 games. Kind of keep the same formula going. Well, I mean, I can see a little bit of change up, but it seems so cookie cutter and, well, I mean, I understand the Mario 64 formula um, isn't the most high tech thing either, or most original thing in that matter. But come on, it just really, really sucked. And as I hear, they also made Conker's Live and Reloaded on the original Xbox, but I never got to experience that as I never had an original Xbox. And lately, all Rare is doing is they're being forced by Microsoft. I'm sure their programmers over there are being forced at gunpoint to be making these Kinect games, like fucking Kinect Sports and shit. I'm sure they literally have to sit there with fucking machine guns, holding them to the programmers' heads to put out this fucking shit for the Kinect, because Nintendo's Wii was so powerful in 2007. Well, not powerful. It was powerful as in the hype and how everyone fucking wanted one. It really kind of took away from the console's appeal, because you had a bunch of old people just sitting there doing nothing but playing Kinect Sports, not really checking out any of the good games like Donkey Kong Country Returns or anything. Oh, well, that wasn't released until later anyway. But it's sad, really, what happened to Rareware. They went from being the king to the fucking slave within a period of 15 years. And that's bullshit. I really wish Nintendo could purchase them back, but I know that that's likely never going to happen. But hey, we can be optimistic. Maybe someday Microsoft will get their heads out of their asses and either make a good Conker Banjo-Kazooie game or something, or just sell the rights to Nintendo so they can build on it themselves, or even make it for the 3DS, because Microsoft has supported Nintendo handhelds in the past. I've never had, say, Banjo-Kazooie on Game Boy Advance, but if I ever find that game, I'm going to pick it up immediately. But if Microsoft has supported Nintendo handhelds in the past, then I certainly think that it wouldn't be a bad idea for them to today, especially considering it's pretty much Sony versus Nintendo in that market. Microsoft don't really have any involvement, and the Rareware is really the only studio that they have that would have any appeal to any Nintendo gamer, I believe. Well, not necessarily, but pretty much to me at least. But yeah, it sucks that that happened to them, but yeah, that's my rare retrospective there. Once again, this is Super Norse, then go ahead and tell me what you think and what you remember the most about rare games and what you'd like to see from them today. If either you like if you like the shitty Kinect games or not, I don't think anyone would. Do you think Microsoft will ever do anything with pretty much the franchises that haven't seen any action since, I don't know. But yeah, go ahead and tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Have a good one. Super Norse out.